Good morning, everyone, and welcome to our backyard. I wanted to show you what we call our shade bed. And in the heat of the summer, this area along our east fence is pretty heavily shaded because of our trees. And as you can see, this is our Chinese tallow tree, and it has started to leaf out, which is early for it. We kind of have an early spring here in the Houston area, and it's only March 11th. Last year at this time, we were wrapping up our plants because of a freeze, and today it's going to be in the mid 80s. But in any case, I wanted to share with you this garden, which we call our shade garden. And a couple of things to note in here. This is the third or fourth year that I've tried different plants, and what I have found that works the best for me in this hot and humid climate and that gets a lot of shade are both Coleus and caladiums. But I did have some luck with some salvia, and this is what's called Forsythia Sage salvia, and it grows very, very tall, and it actually appreciates shady conditions. So it does get some sun, but the shade really helps it. In the fall, it grew, golly, you see that we have it staked here. It grew as taller than these 6-foot stakes, and they had huge panicles of yellow flowers, and the hummingbirds and butterflies and bees just loved them. Not unfortunately, but we did get that December freeze like most of the United States did, and it was terrible here. We got down to 17 degrees with 0 degrees wind chill, and it killed everything above ground, especially our perennials, and just decimated everything. But they grow from the ground up, and we have loved them. So there's the stand. I do have this, and the one over here hasn't come up yet, so I'm hoping we still will see that poke through. In particular, what I wanted to point out was this, and this is a Dutchman's pipevine. It's called a white-veined Dutchman's pipevine, and it is the host plant to the Pipevine Swallowtail, which is a beautiful black and bright blue on its lower half. And this in particular is interesting because I planted it last fall. Of course, it died down it died above ground during that freeze event, but it's popped back up in the spring, and it is supposed to be a ground cover. So I am hoping that it will cover this particular area. Next to it, I have the woolly Dutchman's pipe, and this is just starting to come back. And we had lots of caterpillars from this last year, so I'm hoping this will be a nice addition to our shade garden. And then you'll notice I have a combination of different types of foliage of Coleus. This is called Ruby Slipper, the first year that I've tried this, and so I'm pretty excited. In the back, I have overwintered 4 plants, and they were my favorite. They are a Proven Winners Sedona Sunset, and I'm hopeful that they will also do well. So I was able to overwinter them in the garage. I cut them back, and so we'll see if they will pop out nicely this spring and continue on into the fall. I also have some lime colored. I don't know the exact names of these. Purchased them at my favorite nursery. So these are the first time I have tried these 3 different Coleuses. And this one in particular has a really interesting color pattern to it. So we'll see how these particular Coleuses grow. in the back are supposed to be the tallest, and then of course in the center, medium height, and then these ruby slippers around the outside are supposed to be the shortest at around 2 feet tall. So we'll see. And then I've got my sweet potato vines. Last year, I really liked them in this bed as they were more like a little bit of a ground cover on this end. And my purple sweet potato vine is flowering. Kind of neat. And again, for a first year, I have purchased at my local nursery this plant, and it is called a shrimp plant. And the blooms are underneath this shrimp looking outside flower or foliage, if you will. And hummingbirds, we have been told, really love this shrimp plant. So we have 2 on the end in pots for some good draining soil. And I am very hopeful. These have been just blooming beautifully. You can see the white blooms underneath here, and they've been blooming just beautifully here this spring. And so we'll see how long they bloom, and hopefully we'll have some really good visitations from the hummingbirds. I'm going to see if my caladiums in my pots here are going to come back. Hopefully they will. I had caladiums from Proven Winners in the Heart to Heart series, so we shall see. Anyway, I wanted to thank you for joining me and taking a look at our newly planted this week shade bed. I hope you all have a great day today.